Since you were born, you've had this hairstyle?
Since I was 2. John was diagnosed with terminal cancer, said, I can't believe what they've just told me, and just started crying. There's actually only one person a year in the UK that's diagnosed with it.
I'm Michael Douglas, and I've been working with women and their hair for over 35 years. I know just how important hair is to you and how it makes you feel about yourself. And that's why I've invited some brilliant women into my studio in Soho to tell me about their life, the challenges they've faced, and how I can help them make the most of their hair. So keep watching for great stories, tons of hair tips, techniques and advice. This is Hair Stories, where hair meets life.
I'm Rebecca. I live in Hertfordshire in England, and I've got 2 young children and live with my husband. I work for myself, I've got my own business. One of my clients is MD London. It's quite strange to come here without my laptop and spreadsheets today. As a family, we've had quite a hard journey over the last 4 years. My husband was diagnosed with a really rare cancer in March 2020. My hair's been the same style for the last 25, 30 years. I haven't changed it dramatically. And so I'd really like to do something a little bit more modern and liven it up a bit, like something that's quite low maintenance, I suppose. I'd like to learn how to give it a bit more body.
Hello, how are you doing? You all right?
Yeah, good, thank you.
It's very nice to see you. You all right? Yeah. Very good. Come on in.
Thank you.
I know Rebecca because she works here. But we thought we would have a little look at you. You've had the same hair for a long time, is that right?
About 30 years, yeah.
30 years. Since you were born, you've had this hairstyle?
Since I was 2.
Unbelievable. First of all, let me say that it's very good hair. She's got very good hair, which will be annoying for the people at home because they'll be going, my hair needs doing more than hers. Don't worry, we'll get round to you. Are you just bored? You're just bored with it?
Yeah, and it's quite flat.
Yes, I know what you mean actually. It's quite heavy here, isn't it?
I just feel like I've got a huge forehead the whole time. I had periods of alopecia.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, so my dad died of a brain tumour 14 years ago, and all of my hair fell out underneath, thankfully. So I can cover it. I kind of understand that your hair goes in 7-year cycles. About 7 years later, it fell out again. But in patches where it was much more noticeable, like at the top here.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything I like is adding to my hair, not taking away.
Okay.
Not really the ideal.
So when you say adding, you mean length or width?
Yeah,
or?
no, width, I think, is the body. And yeah, because I just feel that it's all a bit limp.
And what do you do to your hair in the morning, for instance?
So, being particularly time poor, because I have 2 children to get out the door, I tend to wash, blow dry, and then straighten it.
And then straighten it?
Yeah.
With straighteners?
Yes, with straighteners.
Oh, okay. And is there any reason why you do that? Because that would take a lot of body out of your hair. Is it just to kind of tame it?
So my hair is naturally wavy, but not in a particularly nice way.
Oh, okay.
Or not that I've ever been able to style very nicely. It ends up frizz.
I'm just playing with your hair and looking at it in the mirror there and just seeing how nice it frames your face. It's not a fringe as such, it's like a fake fringe by putting a little bend in it here. So what I'd probably quite like to do is show you a few different ways to style your hair where you could just make it look a bit fuller and not as flat.
Yeah, I'm open to going quite a bit shorter.
Are you?
Yeah, not like really short.
No, not short. Okay, what I'm anxious about, obviously, is giving you a problem. You know, like I can make your hair look super nice today, but I don't want you to have a problem tomorrow or you know, the day after that. I don't want to apply any more stress to your life. I'd like to remove some of it, even just a bit. Because it strikes me as though you've been having a very difficult time recently.
Yeah, we've been through the ringer for the last 4 years or so.
And we as you and your husband, John.
Yeah. So John was diagnosed with terminal cancer towards the end of 2020, just as we came out of COVID. So he went to the doctors with a mole that had changed shape and texture. I just remember seeing him across the car park walking towards me.
You were sat in the car, presumably? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and he just got in the car next to me and said, I can't believe what they've just told me, and just started crying.
Oh.
And I think he just celebrated his 45th birthday, and we're talking about a really fit and healthy guy.
Yeah.
John runs really regularly, cycles, does triathlons. What Jonathan's got, mucosal melanoma, is less than 1%, so there's actually only one person a year in the UK that's diagnosed with it.
Wow, God.
It's not like your typical skin cancer. It doesn't form on the surface of the skin. It forms in the mucus levels underneath your skin, so most people don't get diagnosed with it until it's metastasised to somewhere else in your body, and then it's game over. There's no cure for mucosal melanoma currently, so Jonathan is terminal. The last letter from the oncologist is that the treatment that he's currently on, if that doesn't work, which we won't know for another 4 weeks or so for the next scan, then he's got less than 6 months to live. So turning around to your 7 and 5 year old as they were at the time and trying to explain to them that not only has your dad got cancer, but he's also going to die a lot sooner than your mum. Or
And do they know that? Have you had that conversation with them?
Yeah, we have. We didn't at the very start. We didn't tell them what it was. We just told them that he had a disease. And actually, my son at the time, having it explained to him, did a really nice analogy of it's like Daddy's immune system is fighting a boxing match against the disease.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's exactly it.
You look like you're dealing with it brilliantly.
Makeup's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, hair and makeup disguises all sorts of things, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If we go to this kind of bob type length, I think it would be, we could either do a wavy version of it or we could do a straight version of it. We can decide when we get there. What I'd like to do is wash your hair and have a good look at it and then see what it does naturally.
Okay.
And then we'll start chopping bits and pieces off it. How easy is it to talk about this with John in the room? Is it okay?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, we've been open and honest with everyone about it, and we talk about it in front of all of our friends and children and everything else. So John will laugh when I say this, but I tend to come about fourth on the list at the moment. Jonathan's the...
In your own mind, you mean? You put yourself about fourth, essentially. Yeah, okay.
So John's treatment and hospital visits, which are about a day a week at the moment, they're number one in getting it sorted out. And then obviously the children, work. Maybe I'm number 5. The dog comes next.
But is this a way of protecting yourself, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, we've both been to counselling because of what's going on, and my therapist would say that I'm protecting myself from the anticipated grief of what's to come. John and I both get emotional and then set each other off, so we tend to talk about all the practical and the medical stuff we're fine with, and then something will happen, like I'll suddenly remember that, when John's no longer here, I can't get in the loft, or I don't know how to order the salt for the water softener because he does that, and that's when we both get emotional about stuff. I know for Jonathan, he's done a lot of thinking about what legacy he wants to leave for the children. Music's been a massive part of our life. The reason we met is John DJ'd at my house party. We sat outside and got chatting, and the rest is history. John's done a lot of writing lists of his favourite movies or movies that he'd like the children to watch. Written his top.
Can we have one of these movies, please? Like, I've got my birthday coming up, and I hire a cinema every birthday, and
I don't know.
You have to refer to your list.
Things like The Usual Suspect. Great films that when they're age appropriate, to sit down with the children and see the thing.
You've done stuff like write letters to them?
It's not just lists, it's stories and
Yeah.
memories and just bits that as I go through, things you want to, the conversations you want to have in the future.
Yeah.
We've switched as well. Like if we go on a family outing, we always make sure that Jonathan's in the pictures, Jonathan's in the videos.
Okay, yeah.
I know from personal experience with when my dad died, we didn't have much video footage of him. You're always the one behind the camera when you're children.
Yes, always one taking the pictures.
Yeah, and so we've been quite conscious to make sure that there's a lot of that will live on no matter what happens.
I mean, how are your kids getting on with it all?
We've got different ends of the spectrum for coping with it, I think. We've got the 9-year-old, our son, who wears his heart on his sleeve, is completely emotional about everything. So you know exactly where you are with him, I suppose. And then we've got the 11-year-old who doesn't want to stand out, be different from anyone else in class, so isn't interested in any of the kind of help that the school has offered, which means singling her out. and she's kind of a closed book on it all and doesn't really talk about it. But it's strange how it comes out in the children, because we can be doing something completely unconnected with anything medical, and then they'll just suddenly ask a random question, won't they, John? Like, could Daddy have done anything to prevent this? Is there anything that we could be doing differently? But you know, you could have been in the middle of talking about something completely different. And then just, with Charlie especially, he'll just go and what do you think Spurs are going to do at the weekend? You know, it's like they change, you know, they're over it immediately once you've given an answer. We've had some really tough conversations that really we shouldn't be having at our age, or we don't feel that we should be having at our age.
Absolutely, yeah. How are you remaining positive and optimistic, John?
Normally that is my nature anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're in this awful situation. There's nothing you can do about medical stuff, but as long as you stay positive and stay fit, that's all you can do.
Yeah.
And you've got to have complete trust in the medical people, which luckily I'm under one of the best hospitals in the world.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's easier said than done, but but I can keep fit. I can try to stay positive, and you just got to trust the science.
I'm completely the opposite.
Really?
Yeah, I'm the one that thinks the worst of every situation, and I think that's kind of why we make a good pair.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Is that I go in expecting the worst and pleasantly surprised if it's anything less. If you need a Jonathan in your life, because he does bring it back to, well, it could be a better situation than you're thinking. Do you allow yourself to kind of live in a fantasy at all, where it's all gone and you can just pretend for an hour that it just doesn't exist? You know?
There's moments of life where you forget about it.
Yeah.
And then it creeps up on you.
Okay.
Something as odd as you're out with the dog and there's a guy going for a run with his teenage daughter, and that destroys you.
That triggers it, yeah. Yeah, I can imagine it must be nice to think, oh, I haven't thought about this for half an hour. God, that was a nice half hour, you know. We said, like, going on holiday and like removing yourself from the situation completely, so you're not mixing with people that ask every 5 minutes, how's John doing, how's that going? Yeah. That works, but you can't stay on holiday for the rest of your life, unfortunately. So there is a treatment available in the US that's just had FDA approval. Okay. That we're looking into, but it's obviously self-funded because the US medical system. And so we are now in the process of about to launch a GoFundMe campaign to get Jonathan some funds to pay for the treatment over there. So, and how much is required? So we've had a ballpark estimate of between, well, so it's a very varied ballpark estimate, between $100,000 and $300,000. 100 and 300? Yeah. Okay. Blimey, that is ballpark, isn't it? Yeah. So there will be a GoFundMe link in the description below, so if anyone feels generous or kind enough to donate some money, then I'll be immensely grateful. Thank you. We've been together for 20 years and Jonathan proposed. He hadn't quite found it at the right time to do it in those 20 years. Yeah. So I organised a wedding in 6 weeks. Wow. Yeah, and so we had a huge wedding on the hottest day of June last year. Oh, brilliant. Congratulations. Thank you. And yeah, we just had everything we wanted it to be. We decided we couldn't have a traditional vows, traditional speeches, because it would be far too emotional for everyone. Yeah. With what we knew. Oh, yeah, it's hard to get the words out, isn't it? Even on a good day, Yeah, so we did everything a little bit differently, but a bit more us and our personalities. And the children were very involved, which was lovely. And we had an outdoor ceremony and then just a massive party. Your hair is looking nice, very nice. What I'd like to do is blow dry it all, get some body into it and some lift into it. I think we'll keep the parting on the same side. I think we could move it around a little bit, but we might be doing that just for novelty's sake. So I think we might just keep it on the same side. Okay. I've cut you a little shortish layer at the front here. So we'll be able to get that kind of fake fringe effect, which I think will be super nice. And we'll blow dry the hair in such a way that will give us this so it looks like a shorter fringe than it actually is. And then usually once I've done that, we'll just give it another little cut afterwards, just once it's all dry. But I've got good feelings about this, Rebecca. Okay, good. I think it's going to be a winner. Wet it down a little bit just to get us back to square one, and then I'm going to use a bit of this, which is my favourite heat protection spray. It's from OGX. For an extra bit of hold, I'm going to use this New Form by Adam Reed. This is a little blow dry spray. So heat protection on first, a bit of blow dry spray on afterwards for a bit of hold and a bit of body. So I'm just putting a bit everywhere. These brushes are great for just getting distribution of product through the hair. As you can see, it glides through super easy. It's really good for blow drying hair really quick because it's vented, so the air passes through it. And then we will blow dry with our MD London Blow here. Okay, I will crack on. You can watch how I do it and you can try it yourself at home. How does that sound, all right?
Yep.
You blow dry your own hair every day, right?
I do.
Are you good at it?
No, I'm terrible at it.
Okay, so we're almost finished here, but John's got to go. So we need a reaction from John before he disappears to a concert. What do you think of your lovely wife's hair?
That's brilliant. It's really, really cool. Yeah, no, that looks yeah.
It's great. You get to snog a new woman tonight, John, which is always a treat. Great. Oh my God, it's a total pleasure. Yeah, have a great time tonight. It's great to see you too. Yeah. Let's look at this. It's great. This is our kind of faux fringe. So this is a kind of long bang or a layer or something like that. What I might do here is just put a little wave in that just to kind of emphasize that a little bit more. I think that would be super nice. You see, I'm pushing it over the opposite side. It's going to come this way in the end, but we'll put it here first. We get that kind of effect, and then with our vent brush here, once it's cooled down a bit, so we'll just pull that through. So it's just one rotation of the barrel, and then we'll leave the ends a bit straighter so it blends in with the rest. Oh yeah, there we go.
Oh wow, yeah.
How's that?
It's really nice.
Yeah?
My forehead is about half the size that it was.
Yes, exactly, yeah. And then this little wave here, it's just one little wave there and one little wave there, and the rest of it's kind of straight, really.
Yeah.
But
there seems to be loads on the floor, and that actually doesn't look that much.
Yes, we've probably cut 4 inches off it, maybe even more.
It's really good, thank you.
Nice, you like it?
Yeah. No, I really like it.
Yes.
Thank you.
No worries, thank you.
I really like the body in it and how it's kind of, well, my big thing was my forehead looks too big, and so it's cut my forehead in half, and yeah, it just looks a lot lighter. The colour's changed, even though we haven't done anything to the colour. Yeah, and it's just really bouncy and nice. It's always difficult when John starts to talk, like when he was talking about so things that he doesn't tell me, but he starts to tell other people the story. And when he was talking about seeing that teenage girl out with her dad running, that made me really emotional, because it's like, God, he's not going to get that opportunity. Well, he might do if we raise the money and get him the treatment, but you know, he's staring down the barrel of not being here that much longer, and it's hard when you hear those things. You know, hopefully, looking optimistically as Jonathan would, you know, if we raise the money through the GoFundMe page and he gets the treatment in the US, then we're potentially looking at a lot longer of him being around to hopefully be with our children and have those memories.